Good Thursday morning. It is time for math lesson 17, and the topic today is the number line, fractions and mixed numbers, page 87 in your book. If you look at it here, there's a big problem solving, which I believe they give you the answer to, so you won't need to do that one today, but go ahead and read through it. New concept starts here. We're talking about these integers. Integers are counting numbers plus 0 plus negative numbers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2. Anytime it's a whole number and not a fraction or a decimal with it, it's an integer. What happens when we go between them? We can find fractions and mixed numbers. So if I went 1 and then halfway to 2, right there, that'd be 1 and a half. And what makes it mixed is you would have the whole number plus a fraction. There's a whole number 2. Whole number plus the fraction will be a mixed number. That's what makes it mixed. Okay, so you have two kinds of numbers, a whole number and a fraction. It's very important that you figure out what the tick marks are indicating. So between this 2 and the 3, is each one 2 and 1/4, or 1/8, or 1/2, or 1 what? Well, if we count them off, there's how many sections here? So let me get something thinner because my finger's too thick. From here to here is 1 section, 2 sections, 3, 4, 5 sections. So if there's 5 sections, then that means we have it split up into fifths. So this is 2 and 1, 2, 3/5. Okay? As indicated here, 2 and 3/5. That makes it mixed because it's a 2, a whole number, plus a 3/5, which makes it mixed. We did this exercise earlier where you made your own ruler, and since we did that already, you don't need to, but it is a great practice to go through. Here's a ruler. It's interesting if you look at these two rulers. This is a meter stick and a yardstick. If you look here, metrics on the bottom, but you have 1 tick mark for every 16th. But on this one here, let's look at from the 7 to the 8, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. So we only have eighths tick marked out here. Here you have twice as many. You have 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then to the 3 is 16. Okay? When you are reading these, you have to be very, very wary of where the tick marks are. It says estimate the length of this line in inches. So I'm looking at that thinking maybe 4 inches or so. And I put it up here, and boy, I'm off. Well, actually less than 3. So it's 2, and it's 2 spaces short of that, from what I can see, which you call it 2 and 14/16, but you reduce that down to 2 and 7/8. Okay? This is a real close look at each of the tick marks and giving each one a 16th or a reduced form of a 16th. So 1/16, and then this is technically 2/16, but reduced to 1/8, 3/16, 4/16, which is reduced to 1/4. And when we say reduced, that means that we have, say, the 4/16, means they can both be divided by the same number. And in this case, I could divide both of them by 2, but I could also divide them by 4. Bigger is better when it comes to reducing. 4 divided by 4 is 1, 16 divided by 4 is 4. That's just a little peek into the future here of reducing. Okay. Continue this sequence to 1.5 if we look at the practice set. Notice it's 1/16, 2/16, which is 1/8, 3/16, 1/4, and if we went 7/16, this would be 8/16. The next one would be 9/16, not reducible, so you keep it as is. Then 10/16, which could be reduced to 5/8, and so on and so forth. When it says this one right here, what number is halfway between -2 and -3? If we looked at our number line, and we got 0, -1, -2, -3. What's halfway in between? That would be here. That would be -2.5. Also, anytime you hear of a what is the number halfway between two numbers, you can also add them up and divide by 2. Okay? In this case, they're asking you just to use the number line to do it. So let's do that a moment. Was it between 2 and 5? Okay, so we got the number line, and we'll go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what's halfway between these two? Well, if I went 1 this way, I get to the 4, 1 that way, I would get to the 3. Then halfway in between, I guess my halfway point would be 3.5. Now in the future, you would say, okay, what's halfway between these two? Well, what's 2 plus 5? That would be 7. And then you'd have to divide that by 2. Well, 2 goes into 7 3 times. That makes it 6. You get a 1 there. And then you just make a fraction out of it. 3 and 1/2. Isn't that cool? Again, that's a little bit more futuristic here in our math curriculum, but I think many of you guys can handle it. All right, you can estimate these and so on. What represents this one here? Well, how many sections are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. So it'll be 1 and 5 out of 6. 1 and 5, 6. All right, odds today are the assignment. You're going to do well. See ya.